Hey, good morning. So, I wanted to speak to you guys about whether you should be writing the exam in May or whether you should write it in September. I know there's busy season for some folks, so I'm gonna kind of cater to them a little bit here. And so, basically, you have the two options. One option is you're gonna be super busy, but maybe you're gonna manage your time properly during that period, right? I know when I was working two jobs and studying for CPA, I was streamlining my time like crazy. Everything had its own bucket, and I had allocated time. I had made sure I was always in a time crunch because when you're in a time crunch, there's pressure. And where there's pressure on you, you're going to perform. When there's no pressure on you, you procrastinate, you get lazy, you know, get involved in other things that maybe aren't as productive. So definitely, if you can, May is an option, and there's several reasons why. One, you're going to remember more, right? Because September was pretty much right around the corner from May. Hasn't even been 6 months, so May would be earlier on, and you would be able to study from now up until May, and you wouldn't have to wait the full year. Waiting the full year means you're gonna forget more material, and plus you're gonna have your summer off, so you won't have to waste your summer, that beautiful sunshine and all of that to write your exam in May. So definitely May is a good time in my opinion, especially for people who are writing it the second time around. Now I understand it's busy season. So what do you do? How do you handle it? Well, let's take a look here. What time do you have to be in at work? Are you working at 6 o'clock? Are you waking up early? Are you waking up before everybody else? Or are you going to go to work at 8 and, just stay there pretty much? So, how busy is busy season? Can you spare an hour? Because realistically, if we take a look at the situation, busy season is going to destroy you. But even if you have 1 hour, half an hour, all you have to do is revise. I don't know if you forgot everything. I'm assuming that you created a fundamental base in accounting and you've gotten this far for a reason. So, based on those, I assume that you remember certain things and you just have to revise and you have to practice some cases. So, you're not starting from ground zero, and that's amazing not having to start from ground zero. When I had to wait from September to September, I forgot a lot of stuff. I forgot a lot of information and I had to revise. But I still remembered some things. So I approached studying the second time completely incorrectly. And I was setting myself up to fail. The only reason I was able to salvage that was because my first year studying was amazing. I remembered so much material from my first year that it carried me to pass in my second year. And I learned a lot of my mistakes from my first year writing the CFE. So I think I've shared those in some of the other videos. But so going back to it, if you don't have time, if you're not willing to wake up at 6 o'clock, I promise you, from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. I get the most amount of work done. I don't know why, I don't know how, but this is the golden hour. Like, you'll get so much done between those 3 hours than you will the rest of the day. So if you're willing to wake up at 6 a.m. and start studying and then start work, slightly earlier. I don't know how it works in wherever you're working, but if they see you coming in, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., I'm assuming they'll let you leave a little bit earlier than other folks. I mean, as long as you get your work done, that's what matters. But I promise you, I have gotten the most work done from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. I'm pretty sure you can even stretch that to 5 a.m. As soon as everyone else is up, And now you're getting messages, now you're getting this, now you're getting distractions. Now you have to say good morning to people, this, that, blah, blah, blah. So there's so much more happening. There's so much more going on. So 6 a.m., 9 a.m., if you're willing to study during that time, I promise you, you will get a lot more done. Um, and now, the benefits of writing this in September is you can study over the summer. I know a lot of you will, especially the first time writers. I mean, hey, don't go for it. Don't go for May, because you're not going to have enough time to study unless you're spending those 3 hours from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and you have things on your phone that you're reading or you're constantly looking up. Um, it's going to be very difficult for someone who uh, doesn't have that base in accounting or hasn't prepared for a CFE before to go and now be able to write the CFE in May. That's very, very difficult. Some of you might be in a situation where you've challenged the exam, and so February 1st you're going to find out if you passed or you failed or whatever. You might want to wait to schedule the exam. But honestly, if you start studying from now for May, you're set. You're set. I mean, what would stop you, right? So if you're gonna do it, if you're a second time writer, do it now, even if it's busy season, because you're gonna retain so much more information, and you're gonna really have to streamline your time as best as possible. But if this is not the case, if you haven't written the CFE before, definitely go for September, because it's very difficult to take in so much information that the CFE requires. I mean, this is all four modules that pretty much the four modules plus the other two. You have to study like pretty much six modules. You have to be able to speak about them and get enough C's to pass. And it is difficult. It is very difficult to be able to memorize, and especially because they throw those curveballs at you, where it might not have been a topic that you studied before, or you just forgot, or you blanked out. So there's a lot of things happening. Completely up to you whether you decide to write it in May or September. Either way, good luck. Either way, take advantage of those 3 hours in the morning. Those are honestly the most fulfilling hours that I've ever, so maybe to cover a little bit of my routine, I would literally wake up at 6 a.m., start studying. From 6 a.m. all the way till 12, I would study. At 12, I would take like an hour nap, maybe 2 hour nap, and then just get back into it. And so from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock, then I was continue to study, and thereafter I would pretty much just crash and not even worry about it for the rest of the day. So another thing that I did was one of the first sheet I would write down the information. The second sheet, right over, I would test that information. And so now you're not just working on studying what you studied, but you're using your active recall. For example, right now, I was to show you what's going on here. I've labeled things. I've changed colors. I want to know what is going on. I'm going to do this. What I'm going to do. Really, you have to have a plan. Plan is the most important part about everything here. So just have a plan, prepare, look at where you can spend time. I mean, if it's not your first busy season, you know what to expect. If it is your first busy season, but it's your second time writing the CFE, get some more advice, because having to learn your job and having to learn CPA at the same time can be done, but it'll be more difficult. And if you're really keen on studying and you really believe in yourself and you have a passion for this, you can do it either way. But yeah, good luck on your exam. Good luck on your choices. Just know that, if you don't have to rush, don't rush. If you have to wait for your PERT or your experience verification, don't rush. It doesn't make sense to rush because you're not going to get your CPA in your hand anyways. If you're close to getting your CPA in your hand, get your CPA in your hand because it's going to open a lot of doors for you. Anyways, good luck. And like, subscribe, and follow. I'm going to be putting up more content. I'm going to be and comment on what you guys want to know, right? Like, I mean, everyone has a process. Honestly, my process really worked. And I'm not a genius. I would even say I have ADHD. I get distracted. I'm like, oh, squirrel, you know? So if you want to know how I did, what I did, comment below and I can kind of help engage you, or I can make a video about it. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.